So for menopausal women, this particular population, what kind of diet do you think are particularly suited for them?
I like, I've listened, when we were at A4M a few weeks ago in Miami and listening to all those amazing doctors, some of them a lot of them are really into more plant-based. And
Yes.
then some that I listened to were like more of a Mediterranean base. And then others, one woman I was listening to, I forget her name. She was a dietitian, but she liked using animal protein also. I have come, the way I like to do things, I like to incorporate all the macronutrients so that people learn how to live and eat in the real world. I mean, if you could do keto and paleo, and there's a lot of different types of diets out there you can do, but I don't feel like they're sustainable. They do work if you do them right. You can lose weight because, people will say, well, I know so-and-so did keto and lost 30 pounds, but then they put some of it back on once they started eating pizza again or whatever. So I want to teach them how to eat protein, carbs, and fats at meals and what portions they should be having. So that is really important. And everybody's different. I do have vegan clients, but I feel like at this point in a woman's life, I feel like we need a good complement of all the macronutrients. I think some carbs are good. I don't overcarb people, but there are some key ones. I like to use, oats and sweet potatoes or rice, maybe some whole grains like an Ezekiel bread or things like that. But, a little bit because it just keeps you fueled and keeps you feeling happy. So, and good fats and good proteins, good clean organic. Now that, with the world we live in now, we got to use like grass-fed beef, organic chicken, things like that, wild caught fish. It's important, but I think, we need to have a little bit of everything. I know that
Yeah.
there's a lot of research on, balancing hormones through doing more of a plant-based diet. So,
Well, I think the consensus is that plant-based is good. And
yes.
once in a while, you eat a little bit of clean animal protein, that's fine. Of course, there's a whole camp of encouraging people to eat very high amount of protein.
Yep.
I don't know if that's necessary. That's certainly not supported by, all these long living populations. That wasn't part of what they do.
Right.
So, but, science could progress. We'll see. We'll see about long-term effects.
How do you eat? Like, are you more plant-based or?
Yeah, I try to be plant-based at home. Yeah. When I go out to eat, I do once in a while, I love seafood. And
Okay.
last night I just had a grass-fed steak for the first time I don't know for how long.
Was your digestion okay with it, given that you hadn't had it in a long time, or were you okay?
It was okay. I didn't eat a whole lot, but I think my system was feeling probably a lot happier when I was eating just plant-based,
Mm-hmm.
my own, stir fries or salads. I think it just feels so clean.
Yeah, I get it. What do you incorporate for proteins?
I use tempeh. So I
Okay.
love tempeh. What I do is that I cut them up into tiny little squares and then I flavor them.
Mm-hmm.
I will use all kinds of spices and a little bit, hot, you know, cayenne pepper, and I even put some apple cider vinegar. Just maybe amino, the liquid amino,
Yes. Yep.
making it very flavorful. I marinate it and then I saute it and I put it on my salad. It feels like I'm eating this very flavored cheese.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, really, really satisfying. Yeah. So that is a trick I found that's just super satisfying.
What do you eat for breakfast? I'm just always curious because
Oh, I don't. Yeah.
okay.
I do intermittent fasting.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what time do you start eating?
Probably around noon. Yeah.
Okay. And what
Yeah.
time's your last meal usually?
I try to cut off at 6. And if I'm a little hungry after 6, then I will probably just eat, a piece of fruit or something really light, possibly a green smoothie. Yeah, that's about it.
I think it's always good to just have experiences. When I was competing, I've probably done kind of a keto diet where, I was just eating like fish and asparagus and fat. And that was about it, probably olive oil or coconut, usually MCT, coconut oil. But so, and that clearly worked, but it's not something I really want to do forever. But it'd be interesting to just try it and see, because then you can speak to things, you have experience and you can say, hey, okay, I did this and it worked. This may be, I may get someone that comes to me that really just doesn't want to eat animal protein for lots of different reasons. So it's always nice to have the experience of, okay, I have a lot of good plant-based recipes that I've put together because I do have women that are vegans. I have, a great plant-based protein powders if that's something they want to choose to add in. So it's good to just be able to have that option. And, I've learned a lot about it too. I feel like we're always evolving. So I don't claim to know everything, but what I try to do is at least introduce them when they come to me and they're just not healthy because they're just eating a lot of processed foods and drinking a lot of alcohol. Just fixing that makes a huge difference. And they already start to feel better. Their skin looks better. They sleep better. Sleep is a huge component too. So
Yeah.
a lot of people in this demographic, they don't sleep well because maybe they're drinking before they go to bed to fall asleep, but then they wake up, but then they're hot, or they have a partner that snores, or the room's too hot. There's so many components of tweaking things. And then, some people are just an easy fix. They just need a different way to do things, but they just don't know what to do.
So how